Nahamoami, which means comfort my people. That is my aim, to bring you comfort with marital bliss. While this advice is not the be-all, end-all, it is a good place to start. The thing to remember that Corinthians is correspondence between Paul and the faithful. He is giving counsel on various matters. Some advice is directly from Scripture, and other verses are from personal reflection. The following is marital advice. It is good to receive marital advice from Scripture as opposed to social influencers that live in the misery of this world. As the saying goes, misery loves company, and the world is their number one fan. I pray you have come with an open heart, an open mind, and possess 2 good ears for listening. In Yeshua's precious name, Amen. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. As a Christian, it is honorable and precious for you not to have carnal intercourse with any and every woman you meet. You are not called to be a slut maker. Verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. On this account, Christian men are not to have illicit sexual intercourse. To avoid this, let yourself be closely joined with a wife, just as every woman should have a husband, to avoid the illicit Tik Tok lifestyle of those who wallow in misery. Verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. It is the conjugal duty for a husband to give her what she is due. You owe a good wife goodwill and kindness, fulfilling your conjugal duties. Also, men must realize women have hormonal difficulties we cannot understand. You must have cooperative feelings to help her. Women cannot control these mood swings, and we must be accommodating. Do not engage in senseless arguments. Try to be understanding. And women must also realize men do not understand. Good men are trying to their imperfect best, but it can be hard to gently take the brunt of a mood swing. And also know men will be 70 and still want sex. You should also have cooperative feelings towards your man, meeting his conjugal needs. Both man and woman must be considerate of their spouse's needs. Verse 4. The wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. A Christian wife does not have the authority to give her body to anyone but her husband. A Christian husband lacks the authority to give his body to anyone but his wife. Just as I told my youngest child, I own your mother's body, and she owns mine. We are one flesh. Verse 5. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. A Christian does not rob from their spouse. They do not leave their wife or husband destitute. They take care of their business. If you are risking your money and possessions, you must have consent of your partner. Also, draining a bank account before a divorce is a wicked act. Before making such decisions, you should fast and address Yahweh in prayer. Set yourself apart from the world and ask for his wisdom. Afterwards, assemble together in conjugal cohabitation to decide. Let not the adversary come between you and your spouse. Without the power that comes through faith, prayer, and the spirit of separation, you can circumvent good wisdom. It opens you up to intemperance, leaving you with a want of self-control. This is when mental abuse begins, chiding each other for perceived mistakes or shortcomings, leading to violence and adultery. When you are abusive, you are not Christian, just as adultery is similar to idolatry. Walking away from your spouse is like walking away from Yahweh, walking away from your salvation. Verse 6, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. Paul is only indulging in his opinion on such matters. He was asked and gave righteous answers. There is no mandate in Scripture for this method, but his personal wisdom is quite sound. Verse 7, for I would that all men were even as myself, but every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner and another after that. He unrealistically wanted everyone to be as determined as himself in service to our Father. But it was his desire that the men in question forego marriage in order to better serve. However, we are told to be fruitful and multiply in Genesis chapter 1, verse 22. So he did realize at the time we all have our own spiritual endowments that enable us to serve the church. They received this due to the power of divine grace operating on their souls. Sinos lack self-control, caring nothing for their spouse's feelings and needs. They desire divorce over devotion in marriage, desire to rob their spouse with greedy needs, excluding them from financial decisions, stealing the bank account as they serve papers for divorce. Sinos do not pray for wisdom. They give their bodies to people beyond the scope of a monogamous relationship, walking away from a good spouse and the benefits of salvation. Many believe their own spouse's body. They own their own spouse's body, but do not grant their supposed partner the same respect. I thank you for your time and pray for all Christians in marriage. Pray that you find peace and respect towards one another. Have forgiveness for their failings as they are called to forgive you. I thank you for your precious time. In Yeshua's precious name, Amen.